Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tujo Panda back in action. We're going to talk about something else today, and by something else, we're going to be talking about something that's VRChat related. So, take a look at me right now. Obviously, I look a little bit different from my whole face rig setup. That's because I am in VRChat, and in VRChat, this right here, my corporeal being, this is my avatar. Now, if you're a typical VRChat player, you'd already know that, and I wouldn't really have to cover the ins and outs of that. But in case you're a viewer that doesn't know what VRChat is or what it's all about, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the avatar is your presentation. It is the first thing that other people are going to see when they meet you. The first thing they're going to hear is your voice, usually, unless you're blasting some, I don't know, cockamamie bullshit meme music. But hey, so people spend a lot of money on like customized avatars and things like that to make themselves look a certain way or try to encapsulate the finest features of their particular persona or just characters, and some people just churn out avatars to collect them. Me personally, I'm kind of like that, but I have certain preferences, as you can probably see, of the panda variety. You're a panda wizard. But anyway, that's all we're here right now. So it was by a chance encounter that I had the opportunity to meet a friend of a friend the other night, and we ended up being friends by the end of the night. But this particular individual was expressing frustration. He, on the spot, agreed to a little bit of an interview because I found what he was talking about, interesting. So let's go ahead and roll that clip, and, we'll meet at the end to talk about it a little bit more thoroughly. But I'll just go ahead and say right now, he preferred to keep his true identity a secret, so I will not reference a username or a particular name. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to call him Cappuccino, because when you see him, you're probably going to get the sense that he is like a cup of cappuccino. Anyway, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Okay, so like I was saying, this past week, that's all I've been doing. I've been a mute avatar just to conduct my own experiment. It's so hard making new friends. No one else wants to be my friend. No one wants to be friends with me because they're already cuddling someone. Someone's already, again, doing it with somebody. Everyone's in their own cliques. It's just like a regular furry convention. Everyone has their own friend group. No one is willing to be friends with someone who's new. And, I'm not awkward. I'm trying to be extravagant. I'm trying to be like, hey, what's up? How y'all doing? But they're like, oh, hey, and then go back into the conversation. It's so difficult. And whoever, disagrees with me, try it. So, what I've been doing this past week, I decided to be a mute. I tried to see who would listen to me. Quite a few people actually listened to me because, I was quiet. They couldn't tell what I was saying because I had to, motion my hands or something like that. And if they didn't understand what I was saying, I would bring them up to, whatever sign, whatever has letters on the wall, and I would just point to each letter so they could know what I'm trying to say. People listen to me, and that's what amazed me. I'm like, wow, so being a mute makes everything better. But what sucked even more, I found another flaw in the system. You can't be a mute in an avatar that people don't like. I was a Sheba, and that just, they instantly were like, oh god, Sheba Paradise? Is this the Sheba squad? Who is this fool? I'm like, me being mute, what the hell? I would tell them, I don't know the Sheba squad. I don't know Pikapedia. I don't care about them. I'm just trying to be me. But they didn't like the Sheba. So, I was like, okay, what can I do to get people's... also being a mute? So, I tried sexy avatars. I tried, rubber dragons. So all I did, I stood in front of the mirror, I'm just dancing oh yeah, just doing my own thing, listening to my own music, not listening to anyone else. And then some people would come up to me, and then I'd be pointing down at the floor to, signal them that I'm gonna give them a lap dance or just do whatever I want. Not like this, but I'm just trying to have fun over here, just trying to show how, energetic I am. People started enjoying that because, people are hoes. People are sluts. They want someone dominant to take over.
Definitely.
So, I I was like, okay, how can I make this easier for me? How can I be attractive, not be dominant, be playful, and be mute at the same time? So that's when I found the otter, you know. And the most I can do, the cutest thing I could do, literally just dancing like this, waving my hips side to side, or just literally sitting in someone's lap, just being happy, and just bouncing up and down. That's all people want. Someone who's quiet, someone who's cute, someone who makes them look better. Or someone they can, someone who doesn't talk back, someone who doesn't complain about anything, they don't have any issue with. And that's what's so great about having a mute person. And especially someone that's quote-unquote attractive. That's what sucks. And, in my conclusion, let me think. You might want to censor this. I've done it with so many people so far, just to, check for this experiment.
Of course.
This avatar has been abused so many times. And you know what? As an avatar that doesn't even talk, or as a person that doesn't even talk, I can't say no. They just instantly have at it. I was like, okay, so this is happening. Literally sitting in my room just doing this over and over again. And them being like, it's kind of sad. And then I wrote with a pen, I wanted to do a voice reveal today. And they're like, I wonder what this guy actually sounds like. He either has like a really deep voice, he has a really high-pitched voice. Imagine we just leave the world just because we start hearing his voice. And that's one of my worst fears. People aren't gonna like me just because of my voice, just because of my personality. And it sucks. Same reason why I became a mute is because I believed that nobody liked me for my voice or my personality or whatever I had to say. So, in the end, it's almost best that you keep your mouth shut. And that's that about society. And
that's really unfortunate. Because, first impressions, I would just say, I think you have a fairly easy on the ears voice. I don't know you because I just kind of met you. I'm assuming that you're friends with these two guys behind me, but,
right.
You seem, more real, and it's interesting that you actually endeavored this sort of social experiment to just see what would happen, because not a whole lot of people put a lot of foresight and effort in things. Granted, a lot of furries have a bad habit of just kind of blindly charging into a situation. They want sex, they want attention, they want clout, and then they wonder why drama follows. But would you say that people more expected to just talk to you and for you to either entertain them or listen to whatever they had to say, whether it was problems or just things that was going on in their life?
That's honestly, I don't know. It's when people are already with their friend group, it's so hard for them to pay attention to you because they're too busy paying attention to each other. I sought out people who were alone in worlds. They would talk to me. But, if it was in a group, then all I had to do, I don't have to talk. Literally just go up to them, be cute, reach up for a hug, just something as cute as that. And they instantly let me into the group. And they're like, hey guys, we got a new cock sleeve. And it's like, okay.
That's
fine.
That is what I would refer to the otter as, based on your shape. But
wow, thank you.
Well, I mean, it's a very attractive avatar. I personally wouldn't mind a couple rounds with it in the back room, but excuse me. But no, what was it? The furry fandom, I've often facetiously said it was very superficial, artificial, and kind of materialistic. So, stands to reason that it doesn't take a whole lot to attract interest. But again, that's humans in general. They want attractive things. They want nice things. And the otter Shade the bat did a pretty good job on it. But you're still in the otter, so I'm assuming that you like the avatar.
It doesn't feel like me anymore. Because I wore the Sheba for a year. I never changed avatars. I was just this Growlithe Sheba that was kind of smaller than the rest. and that's what people knew me as. And then as soon as I changed the avatar, more people liked me, more than the amount of friends I have now, and that kind of sucks. In order to make new friends, I have to be somebody else.
Well, there are people in VRChat that I've seen and I know of that have gone to great lengths to commission the perfect avatar, and they're almost like showmen. They put on an act, and you can never tell when you're in a public setting whether they're being genuine or real in what they say, because when they're like one-on-one right now, like for example, if I was hypothetically one of these people, I'd be entirely different. I would be like down to earth, more direct, and maybe it's a combination of things, because it's like right now there's only 4 people in this room, and you are like, I can look at you and not have to be distracted by whatever bullshit is going on around us at the time. So maybe, but like, have you felt like, besides the whole experiment that you did, have you felt like you had to go out of your way to sort of put on an act and, maintain an illusion?
Yeah. From this point on, I just kind of feel like I sound better as a mute, because, again, just the other day, more people kept piling on me, more than I would have gotten if I was just talking to people. They wouldn't, come up to the conversation, no matter how energetic and how, open I am to having new people join the group, join the conversation. They only join just to, see the Sexy Otter get abused by the monstrous cocks there were. And, again, it just makes me kind of sad to know that the best thing I am for, like, for example, a good analogy I have, Haru from Beastars. She feels important because the thing that she does best and the thing that makes her feel wanted is because of sex, and that's literally what's happening to me. I only feel wanted and, open because these people want me for sex.
Damn.
Nothing else.
I mean, did you enjoy the attention at first?
I did. I really did, because I feel like I don't get appreciated in life. In reality, I feel like I don't get appreciated that much. Even my friends on my friends list, they don't even visit me anymore. So I kind of have to force myself to find new friends. And if it means, getting abused every day, then I guess that's what I have to do.
That's
Nice
so sad.
always with his friends.
Oh, you shouldn't have mentioned him, but I mean, yeah. Well, hey, listen, you seem like a pretty cool guy. I don't think you should have to do that if you don't want to, just to get people to like you. But again, people have different strategies for maintaining a social circle or social circles. And I'm going to be honest with you, just like my personal take on this. Some people, you will see them for like years. Other people, it's like they will last 5 to 6 months on somebody's friends list before they get purged because something happened, Maybe they weren't spending enough time together. And I'm starting to adopt the philosophy that as you change and as they change, unless you're changing together, there's a shelf life on friendships. Like some friendships, it's like putting a jar of honey on the shelf. You can open that up 5 years from now and it'll be just as good as the day you sealed it up. Versus somebody that puts like, I don't know, a glass of milk or stale beer on the shelf. That's gonna spoil very quickly. So, But, no, that's sad.
Right.
You seem like a pretty swell guy.
Yeah. I try my best, honestly. I kind of stick to a phrase my teacher told me in high school, and it's a humble phrase, and the phrase is, make the world a better place, a positive place. And if it means making other people happy, I would happily go over the limits just to make other people happy. Because happiness is what everybody wants. I think happiness is all we need. Sex is like, okay, that's other people's happiness, but, I'm not trying to say that I should turn it down, nor shouldn't turn it down. It makes me look bad. And for all my friends that's on my friends list, they would be so, I don't know if you would say disgusted, but they would be dumbfounded if they found out my other side. Hasn't known what I've been doing recently, and if he was there seeing me take it, that'd be, horrible. I wouldn't want anyone to see me any other way. So my secret double life just has been, different. I have my friends who see me as humble, and I have kinky people who sees me as kinky. And if they both saw my different life, then shoot.
I would say that based on how many social circles you're a part of, each group is going to see you differently based on how you act in front of them. So, like, obviously, you're going to act slutty and kinky and sexy. Then they're going to be like, hey, I can take this otter to the back room and have some fun. Versus other people that just want to, I don't know, vent to you sometimes and talk about life. But, listen, I really appreciate you talking to me about this today because it has been something that I've been kind of thinking about. Maybe not as much as I should because, we all got lives, we got jobs, things we're trying to do.
Right.
But, no, it was interesting that you opened up with that whole, your experiment, and then you basically tested your personal, you wanted to find out what was going on, like what would happen. You found out, and it was, well, before we end this, what was your expectation? Did you have an expectation in the beginning?
I really did expect a lot of sex. I achieved my goal. I got more friends, but, it's not the goal I wanted. They don't want me for me, they just want the avatar.
Yeah. That has been something I've been concerned about when getting involved with certain people. Because it's like, I can put on whatever avatar you want, but do you really appreciate who I really am? My voice, my personality, my core essences, as you would. But, I don't know, you're going to continue in the name of spreading happiness and joy?
Well, I kind of, at some point, I really do want to tell him, like, hey, I really like being your friend. I love hanging out with you guys. Like, let's, the sex aside, this has been fun hanging out with you guys. I love listening to the music. I love going to the clubs, just dancing around. And I love taking the cute pictures. You guys are really cool. The sex is, just an addition.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you guys are fine as is. And if you honestly want me, I prefer sex with a significant other.
That's fair. Well, listen. I'm obviously Two Joe Panda. I'm going to call you Cappuccino for the purposes of this interview. Thank you very much for speaking to me today about this. I know that's like a lot of information that, so I won't use your real name or anything like that, but just stay in touch, and I hope everything works out for you.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Just, you know where to find me.
Yeah.
Plus
definitely.
Snipes as well. Feel free to visit me. But if I'm in a private instance, or if I'm on Orange, you know what I'm doing or who I'm doing.
Yeah, I understand. Well, hey, thanks for speaking to me
today. Making the world
today.
a better place.
Anytime you can.
Thanks. Of course.
Hey, we're back. Hey, did you miss me? I'd never want to spend a minute away from you. Yeah, finally getting a chance to hear Cappuccino speak in length. I'm glad I rewatched the interview, if you can call it that. Honestly, that night I was more in a chill-out mood than I was in a, acting, interview mood, but, Cappuccino definitely raised a few good points. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit spoiled because I've been playing VRChat for several years now, but the fact of the matter remains that a lot of furries feel, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but they're definitely alienated because a lot of people, once people have gotten to know each other, cliques have definitely formed, and it's been a recurrent problem, if you can call it that, in the furry fandom for a while now. People like the same thing. They don't really like change. Some people do. You'll hear some furries go through periodic purges where they basically wipe out their entire friends list and basically only keep the people that are actually relevant to their everyday life. There are a lot of, like, sort of layers to all this, so I'm not going to be able to, like, just sit here in just a couple minutes and explain it to you all. But in brief, yeah, like, I'm just going to start and go down the line because Cappuccino definitely raised a few good points. Like, where are furries going to go to meet new people and get a chance to make new friends? The whole click thing, it's not really, I wouldn't consider it a problem on its own, but it becomes a problem for new people that don't really have an expectation or they don't know what's waiting for them around, around whatever world they end up in, because, especially on VRChat, because a lot of the old timers, or the OGs if you prefer, they've been around for a while, so they know pretty much everybody that joined up roughly at the same time. Of course, you have new additions to those groups. It's not like they came about and sprung up overnight, although some people definitely have a long-lasting association with people that they prefer in their everyday life versus, some no-name that just that just appears one day. You kind of have to have something that sets you apart from quote-unquote rando furs. Just like what separates you from like them. What makes you so attractive, appealing, engaging. And it can be hard for new people because it's like, nobody knows them. Nobody has an expectation of them. And like, what are they going to do? The days of going to the Great Pug and walking away with new friends on your friends list are kind of over. As far as I'm concerned, the Crashers, Malcontents, and Trolls have kind of seen to that. But, other places have sort of sprung up along the way, like Fur Hub, Chill Out, Hang Out, Furry, Chill Out, Hang Out, and talk. Some other levels like that are more geared to facilitate social interaction. But it's somewhat ironic to have heard him just sort of open up with the whole, like, nobody wants to be friends with me. And on a game called VRChat with chat in the title of the damn game, that is freaking pitiful. I'm not blaming Cappuccino, by the way. I'm blaming, people that maybe don't give him an in. I've definitely had situations like that more often than not. People will, talk to me. I just have to crack a joke or maybe, find a relevant topic of interest that people can share with me. But there have been days where I would try that, and the people that were either already in the world or came later after I'd already been in the world would basically, in not so many words, give me the cold shoulder. Doesn't happen often to me, but, it happens. And it's kind of difficult and doesn't really endear you to them. It doesn't really bolster your confidence that you can sort of walk away and, at least have a good conversation, because that's what some people want. So another great point that Cappuccino raised was the idea of having to wear a mask in order to be accepted. So let me ask you this. To what length are you willing to go in order to be accepted by others? Do you have to maintain sort of the illusion that everything's fine when it's not? Or do you have to pretend to be something that you're not in order to have acceptance in a group? I'm aware of a couple people that I don't have proof. I'm not going to ask somebody hey, are you frontin', man? Are you putting on a front for us? Quit frontin', man. No, I'm not going to do that. But I can make little observations based on inconsistencies in somebody's mode of character to determine, with relative certainty, whether or not they're putting on an act in order to, appeal to the situation or to seem like they're normal when they're not. Some people hide it better than others. You really have to kind of know somebody. You have to have a lot of cross-reference experience with them in order to make that assessment. And I say that because there are some people I know that go through great lengths to adopt a sort of persona. I can cross-reference this with some situations I've been in real life. I've met some people from VRChat in real life. Most of them were exactly like they are here, with some embellishments based on the situation, what have you, mood. One person acted completely differently online versus real life. He was basically a complete nerd in real life. But, you'd probably expect that, right? Not outside the suspension of disbelief. But online, he was acting like some frat boy bro type, and On one hand, I could kind of respect that. It definitely made him like the mark of a great actor. On the other hand, it kind of diminished my respect for him a bit. Anyway, in terms of Cappuccino's sort of account, damn, I have to say, like, if I had more time during the interview, I cut it short for a reason, but like, I would just like to say, whew, that's a lot to go through in order to attract more friends, but some people find out that they can attract more attention upon themselves if they do certain things, and maybe put on a little bit of an act. They pretend to be something that they're not. In Cappuccino's case, he was willing to have sex with various furries over online, and, put on the act that he enjoyed it, and maybe he didn't all the time. In fact, in the interview, he referenced that he would prefer a one-on-one interaction with a partner versus, his friends. But hey, his strategy is fairly successful, if a little bit soul-draining at the end of the day, I'd imagine. But yeah, the avatar, like him pretending to be a mute for a long damn time to attract attention. That's an interesting way to go about it, because like, I'm just imagining my experiences with those sorts of people, because I've known a couple of mutes, like during my time here on VRChat. One was deaf, so he couldn't really communicate, and that's fine. But a couple people had told me that they heard their actual voice, like here and there, but like in front of me and most of the other people, like 85% of the people that they would be, around, no chance. But there were the select few that were actually exposed to their real voice, and it's very hard to judge a mode of character without having a voice. You can sense tone, you can sense emotion, you can sense, how they sound. The conveyance, the means of conveyance are a lot easier. Whereas somebody that's mute, at best they can make little gestures, they can dance around, they can do little things, and it arouses curiosity and a sort of mystique about them. For me personally, I wasn't that enraptured by the prospects of ooh, what are they like in real life? But I could imagine that some people, that might be a draw for others, and especially people that might have it difficult to articulate their words in such a way that people can really pick up on what they're trying to say. That might be a more preferable, attractive sort of strategy in interacting with people. Some people just like to fake it, They never speak in game. They have a voice, they have a voice, certain things about them, but they put on an elaborate act in order to, just enjoy themselves, I guess. But in Cappuccino's case, that's interesting. Man, having a lot of sex with people. I mean, obviously, some people are just going to go to him just for the sex. But some other people might genuinely enjoy his company, and I really hope he reveals to them who he actually is behind, the mystique, the act, the, the mute, sort of aesthetic about his avatar. But yeah, having an attractive avatar, that is a damn good thing to do if you want to attract attention to yourself. People will pay attention to you more if you have something of an attractive avatar, or something that's unique, distinct, something that sets you apart from others. But at the end of the day, that's just one component to interacting with people. Obviously, if you're a piece of shit, people are going to recognize that very quickly. But if you have certain, aspects, certain characteristics about your, sparkling personality, then, that maybe just adds to your image. People are going to like you a little bit more than they otherwise would have. That might open the door to certain possibilities, in which case you can, command more respect in the situation, draw more attention to yourself, more positive attention, be appealing to others. It goes a lot of ways, and I've seen it both good and bad. Well executed, poorly executed. But yeah, anyway. At the end of the day, this is my avatar. There might be many like it, but this one's unique to me. And I can change my look anytime I want, with just a click of a button. I can look like this. I can look like this. I can even look like this. Or maybe I can even look like this. Or I can even look like this. All this to say that while appearances are in fact skin deep, they do have a bearing on how you relate to other people here on VRChat. I mean, first impressions are everything, and what's the first thing that people are going to see? Well, it's going to be your avatar. And I hate to say it, but furries are definitely shallow, artificial, and a little bit materialistic. Did I say like a little bit? I mean very materialistic. But, you know, that's just basically painting the fandom with a broad brush. There are plenty of people out there that are compassionate. They can look past either your appearance or your personality or maybe certain flaws that would otherwise make you unattractive or unappealing to others, and they can look past all that to accept who you are. But there are plenty of people out there that have recognized that to stand out from the crowd, they have to do certain things or feel compelled to do certain things to facilitate better social interactions. And I'm not here to say whether one or the other is like a better choice for you. It really depends on who you are, what your values are, and what's inside. Because after all, appearances are only skin deep. They will have a bearing because first impressions will, sort of set the tone for how you're going to interact with that person, in the long term in some cases. And obviously, who you really are is going to outshine the front that you're trying to pass off as your true self if you're basically trying to assume an act. But some people are very good actors, and they can really keep that mental focus to, basically pass themselves off for something that they're not. In Cappuccino's case, I didn't really see any malice in what he was doing. That being said, I find it very sad that he felt the need to do things that he otherwise would not do to get people to like him, because I think on his own, just as many people would like him for who he is. That's just my impression of the guy. But at the same time, sometimes you need that in. You need to have that chance to interact with somebody. You have to be able to get their notice, attract their attention, do something that will, make them pay attention to you. VRChat also, a lot of people have short attention spans here, and they can't really maintain mental focus for any longer than, several minutes at a time at the most, and several seconds at the least, if that. People are easily distracted, and there are definitely a number of distractions here that are constantly drawing people away from, solid conversations. People interrupt each other, constantly. People don't exactly have the best social etiquette here. But at the same time, for all of the negatives that I've pitched, VRChat is still one of the best things that's happened in my life in recent years as far as, going online and enjoying a game and immersing myself with the various people that I've come to attract here as friends of my own. So yeah, I guess to encapsulate all this into some sort of conclusion is that, what's inside matters more than what's on the outside, but at the same time, if it works for you, I guess go ahead and do it. No shame in having an avatar that you really wanted or that's going to attract a lot of attention, People pay good money for that, like I said before. But, at the same time, I can appreciate certain traits or qualities in certain avatars that are unique, but maybe not necessarily attractive. And in Cappuccino's case, he was a Sheba for a year. And I had no problems with the Sheba squad for the most part. Pika might have a little bit of a controversial reputation, but, I don't see why that should get somebody, bullshit from others just for the actions of somebody else allegedly happening. But anyway, hey, it is what it is. I hope you saw something or you heard something in Cappuccino's, basically his testimonial on what he'd been doing that's maybe thought-provoking or makes you think a little bit more. And, at the end of the day, do you really know the people that you call friend here? Do you know them as well as you think you do? Because there's a possibility that they could be somebody completely different. All it takes is a one-on-one interaction to sort of assess that and basically test that sort of theory. And, the difference between them in a group setting versus a interpersonal setting where they're just one-on-one, the focus is on you, you are focusing on them, and they have the ability to sort of engage with you privately. It could be a night and day difference. And I guess that opens the door up to how are you in a public setting or a group setting versus interpersonally with somebody that could be a trusted friend. That's a question for another video. I think I've carried this on for long enough, but I will say this. If I think about it a little bit more and I get some more, I guess, insights, or I can just sort of, you know, reflect on this, speculate, come up to other conclusions, I'll make a follow-up video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Till next time, take care and peace. I hope you all have a better one.
Let's go have some fun.